Now you guys have the capacity for just over 500 inmates. You're seeing between 900 and 1,000 on a day. I think average about 920.
Yeah.
Will the jail expansion solve your overcrowding problem?
Well, right now, as I told you on the phone today, no specific numbers have been set. All that's going to contingent upon the council's, the presentation of architects and the county administrator and the recommendation make to the council.
Right.
And then they got to look at the monies available. So we've looked at varying numbers, but nobody's set on a definitive number yet because, again, it really depends on what the council decides. But depending upon how many beds are built, obviously the problem's not going to go away if there's not enough beds built. And even if there are a sufficient number of beds built, unless there's an exorbitant number built, the over jail crowd is going to continue for a while. Problem's going to continue for a while from the standpoint that if you build 100 or 200 or 300 over, you can see by our numbers how the population is growing. So it's in just a matter of a couple of years you'll be back up at that point again.
Right.
Now the question always arises, and which I've always refuted is from the standpoint that I always say if you build it, the people will come, like the people's going to commit crimes just to come to jail.
Right.
And that's not really a true factor. I mean, Spartanburg's population is growing. With the good growth comes bad growth. You got a certain number of people that's attracted to the area because of the wealth and the jobs.
Right.
But on the other hand, they don't get those jobs, and you got other. And then you always have the bad element that's attracted that comes along with the good. Plus, economic times and other things considered, it's not that people deliberately go out to come to jail. It's the fact that with those, there's a number of arrests that come, and the good comes with the bad. Right. And also, from a standpoint, the solicitor and others have talked, and again, as I told you earlier, I don't have a problem. I'm a law and order kind of guy, and there's a lot of people needs to be in jail.
Right.
But if you build extra beds, then the philosophy changes, where you're moving cases through court, or whether you're trying. Now all of a sudden the problem, the crisis is not as acute as it was, and so therefore your philosophy changes, the state statutes change, different people in the community have emphasis on different crimes or different activities, such criminal domestic violence, DUIs, and when you start changing those legislatively, that impacts the jail. So all those factors out there in the community actually cause the jail population to go up. It's not the fact that just because you build a jail, there's a lot of people who wants to come and live in it. I mean, that's not true.
Our closet is set up with 3-tier beds in our closet, and so 3 inmates will be housed in here, and each inmate has their own individual being where they put their personal belongings down there, and this is their bathroom, this little desk and sink where they can write or either have lunch here, either lunch here.
Can you explain to me an inventory, what's in the standard pod, like how many blankets per person?
Everybody's allowed 2 blankets per person, mattress cover, and pillows and pillowcases. And each individual person has their own towel and washcloth, and they're changed out on the laundry days.
This is what we do, right? This is what every day occurs.
What are you doing here for, to pass the time?
Man, we play cards, we play spades, whatever. Anything that'll make the clock go by a little faster.
They're going to get up around 5 a.m. They serve breakfast in the closet. Everybody in this closet gets breakfast about 5 a.m. And then after breakfast, they return back to their cells. And then they make their bed, and because we don't have enough under the cover during the day. And then everybody stays in bed till 8 when the first shift come on, and then they start doing head count. And after head count is completed, they have a briefing. What is expected by the officer on the rules of the cell and the facility. And then after that, they go through the rules and stuff. Then they're let out after the head count, everything's completed. They're let out to come into the day area. When they come into the day area, they can play cards, they can play checkers, chess, and just sit around and talk, and then everybody have a scheduled phone call. And then they talk on the telephone, and it's lunchtime, about 11, lunch. And my lunch is
I was just saying, is this the general population area?
oh yeah, that's the day area right there.
Let me swing out and
That's
get
the day
some.
area. And everybody has 15 days on the telephone.
Like color.
And everybody has a good time back
Okay, just go ahead and finish up the rest of the day.
and then after that, at 2 o'clock, they would go up until after head count at 4 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, after 4 o'clock, they'll come back out when head count is completed and have supper. And then the general population is out until 11 o'clock at night.
Looking at the projections and, thinking that right now the capital improvement plan calls for 966 beds, counting the annex. Talked to Tom Gates today, said they'd probably be a little bit higher. Either way, if it was built today, if it was magically snap your fingers and it appeared today, you'd probably be right at capacity, which is kind of what happened when this jail was built. Right?
Yes, and of course, as I said to start with, we haven't really set a specific number of beds, to be built yet. Or at least I haven't been. I've been in in discussions about building 900 beds out of 1,500 beds.
Oh, really?
And but again, all those are options that we've looked at from a standpoint of getting a price to go to council. Ultimately, bottom line is it's going to be what's available, what the council feels like they can afford, right, and what they can build. But if the number of beds you're talking about puts us at about 1,100, if that's the correct number, then obviously, yeah, we're full today. I mean, we're full today.